A few weeks ago, I visited 2 hospitals in the Bronx to report from the front lines of this pandemic. While there, I kept hearing about a young doctor with COVID who was fighting for his life in the ICU.
Things just were not getting better.
The amount of anger and frustration and sadness that I felt.
Just the idea of losing my son was unbearable.
But ultimately, he survived.
I'm Maldonado, and I'm an ER doctor here in the Bronx. I'm a healthy 27-year-old guy, no medical problems, but I got COVID-19. I was so sick that at one point I thought I was going to die. This is my story, which should be a warning to everyone. I was working mostly in the 2 weeks where it was really starting to ramp up.
It was quite dire. Stretchers lined 2 or 3 deep.
You were just being called from one patient to the next.
I need a vent. I need a vent.
How many vents do we have? All these questions that we had never considered ever. They're starting to ration out these N95s.
We're in a spot where we're wearing stuff a day at a time, multiple days at a time.
A lot of these patients that I've met are scared. I want to be able to help people when they need you the most. There was a patient and she coughed right on my face. And that's when I got scared. What if she does have coronavirus? Day 1, March 23rd. It was the middle of the night. I started to feel just really horrible chills. But I thought to myself, I've been sick like this before. I've had a virus. I'm young, I'm 27, I'm invincible, nothing can touch me. Day 2, when I would take a really deep breath, it would hurt. Day 3, fevers that would come up to 102, but I would take Tylenol and I'd be okay. Day 4, I spoke to my mom.
Through the whole week, it was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Day 5 was actually when I went to go get tested. Day 6, my coronavirus was positive.
Our worst fears were coming true.
Day 7, I was pacing my room and I was just thinking, come on, Tylenol, just start working already. It worked a little bit, but then the fever would come back 2 hours later. Day 8, couldn't finish my sentences without taking a breath. That's when it clicked. I can't continue to stay home. Day 9, March 31st.
Andres calls me and he tells me that the first thing is, Mommy, don't panic. And when he says don't panic, what do you think I'm gonna do? And he goes, I'm going to the ER right now. I don't feel good. And I said, what's wrong? And he said, I'm short of breath.
I met Mike Jones, our leader in residency, inside of the tent in front of the ER.
He came to the hospital where I was that day.
Every patient with COVID reaches a critical time period where you can see that they're heading in the wrong direction and they're kind of going over that tilt of that cliff, heading in the direction where they may need intubation.
At least 70 to 80% of patients who were placed on ventilators were dying. So we tried very hard to avoid intubation.
Everyone who was there knew me, all the nurses, Mike Jones. I know Dr. Romo personally. They were alarmed.
Just looking at him through the window, it just felt like I got kicked in the stomach. I ended up writing "We love you" and taping it on the window so he could see it. I went in the room and I cried. I cried.
I wanted to remain strong and support Andres and not let him see that even I was worried. I was terrified.
When I walked into the room, I realized that he was breathing at a faster rate than he was before.
That was a significant moment for me because I have been in that position where you see a patient, they were critically ill. I knew that sense of urgency meant that they were considering more invasive options.
We've decided that he was getting sicker and that maybe he was going to need to be intubated. We made the decision to admit him to the intensive care unit.
I said, call the ICU right now, let them know he's coming.
I heard Dr. Romo say he needs to be placed on a high-flow nasal cannula.
A device that provides a large volume and high velocity of oxygen to a patient.
So we brought him right up and started the high-flow nasal cannula.
The only thought in my head was, just please get better on this. Please work. I woke up in the middle of the night. I heard a lot of commotion outside and people turned on all the lights. I looked at the monitor to check my vital signs, and overhead you hear they're calling for extra doctors to report 2 rooms down for me. She was a 25-year-old. She just kept saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Then she had this cardiac arrest. Her heart stopped. I was terrified. I was thinking, that's 2 doors down, and that could have been me. Sometimes you think about what would happen if you would die, and then you think about your parents if you died. The permanent distress they'd probably feel.
And, I haven't really seen my husband cry. And he did right now. I have never seen him like that. He went on his knees and he was asking God to please save Andres and take him instead of Andres.
My dad doesn't get like that. He's serious. He's like a military guy. Let me get over.
Just the idea of losing my son was unbearable.
Despite thinking I could die, I still felt determined to somehow get better. And the way that translated to me in my medical mind was focus on your breathing, one breath at a time. Think about the air going in, out, try and take deep breaths. Makes you cough, okay, take a break, try again.
And then at some magical points, we turn the corner.
What's up, Andres? Welcome back.
Hey, thank you. Oh. I'm completely overwhelmed right now.
It's a victory. Every victory helps us try to help the next patient get through this.
It was an amazing feeling of triumph. It was like, yes, we did this, we beat it.
They saved my life.
"24 of our 84 emergency medicine residents have been out sick during this crisis."
The number of healthcare workers that have died it's horrible. All healthcare worker infections are preventable. I really, truly believe that.
I believe the government failed everybody. Oh, only 400 died today, not 700 like last week. It's like, for goodness sake, we're talking about human lives.
It's a virus. It will infect you. It doesn't care who you are, where you're from, what you do, who you support politically. It doesn't care. Please appreciate your life more before you choose to ignore the stay-at-home orders or the quarantine, because anyone can get sick.